welcome back to another episode of The Slice. And this is my very first time doing this intro, so I'm really worried that I'm going to stuff it up because usually my guy Rog takes the reins of the intro, but I'm going to give it my best shot.
Yeah, you spent the whole time pumping up how this is your debut intro and you haven't even bothered to get into the intro. It's like that is the ultimate fallback I've ever seen.
This is the...
Do you want me to pick it up for you?
No, I can do it. It was just my pre-intros, but my intro's intro.
All right,
okay.
You've introed the intro. Now let's get to the intro.
Slice is brought to you by AFLPLAY, and this is for the playmakers. For anyone who's ever picked up a footy or enjoyed the game from the sidelines.
We'll be serving you a slice of play every week right here on The Slice.
That's pretty good.
You did an outstanding job for your debut. I'm proud
thanks,
of you.
Mate. Thank
you know,
you.
when it's your debut game in a game of footy, it can be very nerve-wracking. You never know how you're going to go. You're out there trying your best. And sometimes in your first game, it doesn't go exactly the way you want. Sometimes you play your best game in your first game. I reckon you played an absolute ripper in your debut.
Oh, thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
And you might be wondering, that background's looking a little bit different for Star and Rog. And you would be correct because we are in Melbourne. How exciting.
We are in the greatest city Australia has to offer. Now, normally, if you're not aware, we record this slice in your neck of the woods in Sydney. I fly over there, which I love. Can you believe I've lived in Australia my whole life, 25 years, and until we recorded this slice in Sydney, I had never seen the Harbour Bridge.
Really?
I'd never been to Sydney. People travel from every corner of the globe just to see Sydney. And when I went, I understood what it was all about. It was gorgeous. But now here we are in the Melbourne studio at AFL House. What's your first sort of thoughts of Melbourne and everything it has to offer?
Melbourne is stunning, and AFL House is really cool because I had to use like a little swipe card to get through the doors. So I always feel like that. No, you're in like a really official, very important.
You're
place
wearing
when
an
that happens.
official, important coat as well. You look like you matter. You look like you should be in like James Bond, like solving.
It's definitely serving Inspector Gadget chic. Melbourne water slays. I just filled up my emotional sport water bottle and I was like, oh, that is fresh.
I've never been a water bottle person. I think I need to jump on that. Unless it's a spray operation. Like, have you ever drunk out of a spray water bottle, like at the footy club? And it has like the chin part on it, so then you don't like mix germs with other people. It keeps your like your germs.
Like a little chin rest.
Yeah, but then there was always that guy at the footy club that put their mouth on it anyway. They disobeyed the chin guard. They put their mouth on it anyway. And you're like, mate, you've just put your germs all over it. Why have you done that for? But speaking of local footy.
Segue.
It is finals footy for so many local community footy clubs out there, which we absolutely love. A lot of the women's teams will have already played their grand finals. So if you won, congratulations. There's no better achievement. There's no greater feeling. Have you won a grand final?
No, but I've been in one netball grand final when I was like 14 years old. But unfortunately, the Opals, we took a L that day.
Isn't the Opals the national? Like, were you playing?
No, it was like at Heffron Park in Sydney.
Right. Yes, got you.
Just the same name.
No,
have you been in a? Yeah, you've been in a grand final.
I've actually been in 2 grand finals and won 2 grand finals. I'm 2 from 2. So if you have got a grand final coming up and you want the lucky charm to win, sign me up. I wouldn't mind winning the 3rd. I think that could be the missing piece to your puzzle. But
yeah, I'm seeing like one common theme here for the wins, and that's you.
Mind you, in both grand finals, I had, I reckon, a combined like 8 touches for the whole 2 weeks. Like for both grand finals, I hardly touched the footy. And in one game, I did something really clever. I knew that I was a bang average footballer. So I said to my coach, put me on their best player and I'll stop him. So I tagged their best player, kept him to under 10 touches. And even though I didn't touch the ball, I got credit for like doing the team thing. So I was pretty happy with that.
There you go.
But your local footy grand finals, make sure you get out to them. The atmosphere at the local grand finals is unlike anything else as well. Like AFL's cool. I love the AFL, but the local spirit and local community, there really is nothing like it.
I agree. Well, I've been to a couple of grand finals myself over the past few weeks. I feel like we're going to get into it when we jump into our 6.1 point. But I'm well and truly in my sporty era, Rog, and I'm loving it. So I feel like I just soft launched my 6.1 point for the week.
You did.
But for those who maybe are tuning in for the first time today, your 6.1 point is our little segment where we go into kind of like the highlights and lowlights of our week. Are we meant to start with a highlight or low light?
I think you want to start with the low light and work your way up to the highlight.
Yeah, because I feel like I kept doing it the other way around in previous episodes.
But we're getting better now. We are getting better. The 1 point being the low light, 6 point being the goal, the sausage roll, straight through the high diddle diddle, the cat in the fiddle. Do you want to kick us off with perhaps your 1 pointer?
Yeah, let's do it. Both my 6 pointer and 1 pointer kind of feature the same person.
Okay.
So, things exist on a spectrum in life. It's not just black and white. Things are happening at the same time.
Yes.
So my 1 pointer for this week is I've moved in with my boyfriend a couple of months ago. We've been living together for about 3 months.
That is a big move.
It is. Like, we have been together for 5 years, so it was a long time coming. Yeah, but living together, the dynamic, right? You've got to figure it out. Whether you're moving in with a partner or your friends or just a random housemate, it is a shift in the dynamic, and you have to learn how to exist around this other person. So I love Matt Rains, if you're watching, Illy, so much.
Rainsy.
That's what everyone calls him. It's so weird. Matt Rains. Anyways, so my 1 pointer is that it's just figuring out a few things about living with each other.
Teething issues, some may say.
Yes. For example, we have an issue with towels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it because you keep putting all your makeup all over his good Sheridan towels?
What? Excuse me. I'm the one with the good Sheridan towels.
Right. Yes, my mistake. I should have known.
Where do you put your towel after you have a shower?
I will either drape it over the shower for when I use it next, or it'll be around my waist so then I can walk into my bedroom.
Lovely. Well, Matt likes to dry himself and then put it on the floor.
I really want to go into bat for Maddie. I feel like, I should be on Maddie's side here. And going into this, I really want to be his greatest fan. But I'm afraid I might be your greatest enemy, Maddie.
Yeah, I just need some advice on how to approach it. So we've had a conversation about it, and I'm like, pick up your towel off the floor, trying to be really nice. And then the other issue with towels is that he will try and get a new towel every day.
Yeah, no, you can't do that. My issue with leaving the towel on the floor, it's not so much an issue of it's a bit messy, because I don't mind mess. I live in the mess. I'm a bit of a pig. I thrive in the mess. My issue comes with if you leave it on the floor, it doesn't dry, so it's going to stay wet.
It's going to gets stinky.
Yeah, it gets a bit of a hue about it. It just sort of steams on there, and it picks up all the dirt off the floor. So I think it's just counterintuitive to having a clean towel for when you dry yourself next.
Yeah, well, he just grabs a new towel apparently.
So
how do we approach?
I think you at the start need to put the front foot forward. You don't cop this, because if you cop it now, it's only going to go on a downhill slope line. And I've lived in share houses, and I know that a relationship is a bit different to a friend. But if you let something slip early, you give an inch, they'll take a mile. So
true.
I think you got to put the foot down and make sure that the towel gets hanged up.
Have you ever lived with a housemate that's done something like that?
Yes, I have. And the best advice I can give you, I reckon, here is that, and I know that this seems like an unnecessary step to take, maybe even a swallowing of the pride, but if you do it for them, then they will see how much better it is. Like if you hang the towel for him, then he'll go, hang on, now all of a sudden I have a dry towel. And I want to keep on doing this. So I reckon if you do it for him, he'll love it, and then he'll keep on doing it into the future.
I disagree, because if I do it for him, then he's never going to learn that he has to do it.
He will learn that it's the right thing to do, and then when you stop doing it, he will start doing it. But Maddie, you're on notice, mate. What's your 6 pointer?
I think you're going to have a word with him. My 6 pointer is also related to Matty Rains. So Rainsy, he's a strength and conditioning coach. So he coaches a rugby team. And this weekend that just passed, he had 3 teams in the grand final.
Is he just a strength and conditioning coach, or is he the head coach?
He's the head of performance.
Right.
So he does the strength and conditioning for every single team in
Gotcha.
Rugby. And they all won their grand finals.
That is not a coincidence. And in footy, it is such a massive thing, the strength and conditioning.
Yeah.
They think if you get your pre-season right, if you get them fit, that's 80% of the battle.
That's
it.
You
are just about there. So I don't think that's a coincidence. I think Rainsy, look, mate, not ideal. You're leaving towels on the floor, but when you're winning 3 premierships, mate, you can leave the towels wherever you like.
He's going to love it. And this was his first year as a head S&C as well. And the first team, they haven't won a premiership in 20 years.
That is a genuine drought.
I know.
That is a proper drought breaker.
So the vibes on Saturday when the grand final, it was just amazing, as you can imagine. Just to be a part of it, like I was wearing my Apple Watch, and I should check how many steps I did, because I was just like jumping up and down, cheering the whole day.
That is as big a 6 pointer as you can possibly get. Like that is a 6 point is a goal, but a 20 year premiership drought-breaking strength and conditioning. That is the pinnacle.
It was so good.
Well
What are
done.
yours? What are yours for this week?
Well, my 1-pointer and 6-pointer roll into each other.
Okay.
And for once, I'm actually going to start with my 6-pointer.
Okay.
So I go out with my housemates, the Marmalade Boys, Checkers and Stray, who you might be familiar with.
Yes.
The Div 12 Recce's even. And we go out on the weekend. We're out on Chapel Street. And as you know, I'm a single man and I'm looking for love. I'm on the market. I said October is when we find the relationship. After footy season, obviously, in September. So we head out and I walk into the dance floor. And up where the DJ is Checkers, Stray, the Marmalade Boys.
The boys.
I walk up towards them. And right behind them is, I'm deadly serious, the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life.
I wasn't there.
Barring you, Star, obviously, you're out of the equation. The most gorgeous girl I've ever laid my eyes on. And lo and behold, she was laying her eyes on me. I thought, this is unbelievable what is happening here. And as I walk up, she pays me the most unbelievable compliment. She says, your smile has lit up the whole room. It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe she said that to me. Anyway, we're chatting. There's chemistry throughout the night. We're having a dance. We're having a boogie. And eventually, we share a kiss. It was like out of a fairy tale. I thought, this is the one. Star, I told you I was going to have a relationship in October. And we're getting there. She goes to leave and she says, hey, before I leave, could we exchange Instagrams? And I'm like, oh, she's asking me for my Instagram. This is unbelievable. And as you know, I'm in the Uber home. I'm planning the rest of our lives together. I'm thinking about where our honeymoon will be, what our kids' names will be. And I wake up the next day. I can't wait. I send her the DM. No reply. And that's the 1-pointer.
No.
Not only the no reply, but one day goes by. That's 24 hours in case you were unsure. A second day goes by. That's 48 hours now. And I think enough's enough. And I lower my colours. I pull out a manoeuvre I have never done before. And I go the double message.
Double text. Rog.
I pull out the double message with the love of my life. And to absolutely no one's surprise, it did not lead to us falling in love. She did not reply to the double text.
She ghosted you.
She ghosted me. And it was one of the all-time head scratches. I went, why are you asking for me Instagram on the way out if you're just going to ghost me the next day? But this is a game we play. You win some, you lose a lot. It's a lot like a season of footy. You have your ups and downs. You have your peaks and troughs. And although this is a bit of a down period and this is a time in my life where there's a bit of reassessment needs to happen, I can guarantee it's going to be a Michael Voss type run and we're going to have premierships on the horizon.
You're going to come back up, mate. I promise. Wait, so did she leave you on red? Like, was the message seen or did she just not open it?
So after the first message, she didn't even open it. Right, so, and I would have preferred the scene. The scene would have been the full stop. I would have had closure.
Yeah.
But when she doesn't even open it, your mind starts to wonder and you think, has she been in an accident? Like, is that why has her phone been stolen? Like, why has she not opened the message? And also, you don't want that annoying notification up in the top right corner that says, like, you've got an unread message.
Yeah.
So I think surely something must have gone wrong here, which is why I followed it up a few days later. But then when she left me on scene, I realised there was no accident. Her phone had not been stolen. She just was not interested.
Isn't it funny the Delulu stories we tell ourselves in these situations? We're like, no, it's not because they're leaving me on red or on scene. It's because this really intricate story happened and I know every single part of that because there's no way that someone would leave me on scene.
Yeah, and then your mind wonders too, what happens if you go the triple barrel? What happens if you go the triple message? Is that a sign of persistence and an endearing sort of passion for one's interest? Or
you know how if your phone's on Do Not Disturb, if I try to send you a message, something comes up and it says, this person's on Do Not Disturb, but do you want to like notify them anyway? Yeah. Imagine if you could do that for Instagram. So someone's left you on scene and then you can send them like an extra notification and your phone vibrates or something like that. So it's like that extra little thing.
Do you think that a double message could ever be endearing or is that always just desperate?
Oh, see, I am an avid double messenger.
Are you?
I don't mind a double message because sometimes you just need to get your point across. What I don't like is, and my best friend always does this to me actually, she will send like 10 messages in a row. She's like, zzz, and I have to turn the vibrate off of my phone because it overwhelms me. I'm like, there's too many sounds happening.
I don't like the gist of a double message. It's never been my thing. Even if I didn't get picked in like a sports team, right? So say if I wanted to be in the ones and I got put in the twos, or if I wanted to be in the twos and I didn't get picked to play at all, I was never the sort of bloke to go up to the coach and say, hey, why didn't you pick me? I just accepted. I copped it on the chin. But given the sheer beauty of this woman, I thought I had to lower my colours. I went the double message. A regrettable decision, but a decision I will not make again.
Mate, you gave it a go, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
Rog, one thing you should know about me is that I love a good recce.
Yes, you do. You're a great recommender.
Oh, thank you.
One of the best.
I feel like I should put that in my bio. Great recommender.
You recommended me a hot girl walk.
I love the way you say that. Hot girl walk?
A hot girl walk. Do I qualify for a hot girl walk? Can anyone?
Yes.
Yeah, so I went on a hot girl walk and I've never felt hotter.
A hot girl walk is like a state of mind.
Yeah.
It's just like something that you need to channel. It's an energy.
It's an aura.
Yes.
Have I got hot girl walk aura?
Yeah, I'm getting big HGW energy from you.
Yeah,
you got to, like, now that you're amongst the hot girl walks, we can now start introducing the shortened versions.
We should go on a hot girl walk together.
Yes, hot girl walk to the footy.
Oh, we are. Jeez.
Get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. Imagine the aura will be like. Have you ever seen the Spirit Bomb in Dragon Ball Z?
Yes.
Yeah, it would be Spirit Bomb aura.
I love it. Okay, so back to me being really good at recommendations. I thought it would be fun if we do a little segment on the pod, on the VOD.
On the VOD?
On the show.
Yes.
This is our show where we both bring a little recce.
I would love to recce.
Yeah, and we know it's finals week, so I feel like a lot of things in my life are kind of at the finale now. And it's like, it's so exciting, but also it's a little bit stressful.
Does everything in your life coincide with like finales in footy? Like it's like seasonal where when it's finals time in football, it's finals time in the rest of your life as well?
But it also might be because like Mercury's in retrograde or something.
I have no idea what you just said. I literally have not the first idea what you are banging on about there.
Maybe Mercury's in Powerade.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, Freddie Mercury's drinking a Powerade. I like it.
Look, my life probably isn't based around the footy seasons as much as yours is, but maybe like from the sideline, yeah, absolutely.
What's your recce?
Well, my recce this week, speaking of things coming to an end and a big finale, a show that I care so deeply about called The Summer I Turned Pretty has ended. The second season has ended, and I don't know if you feel like this when there's footy, when the footy season ends. I feel like there's just like a hole in my life now. There's something missing.
Yes.
And what do you do? Like, how do you come back from that? So I'm of course recommending the show. It's a teen drama. I'm a 20-something-year-old teenager, and I just love it.
I watched Gossip Girl growing up.
Really?
Yeah, not only because my older siblings, Maverick and Katrina, they frothed it. They were in high school when I was in primary school and when that was at its peak.
Yeah.
That was the only teen sort of TV drama I watched. I loved it. I haven't watched another one since, so maybe I need to give, what's it called, the Summer I Turned Hot. Maybe I need to give that a crack.
If you want to be cool, you can call it TSITP.
What's so special about The Summer I Turned Pretty that really speaks to you?
I just love it because I think so often these like storylines are made to feel silly, right? Yeah. Whereas with this, it's like captivated such a big audience that you feel like, oh, it's actually okay for me to care about this. I'm sure there are some people who are like, it's still silly, but I love it. But look, the final episode aired of season 2.
Right.
So we're done.
It's only a 2-season show.
For now, yeah.
I had to give up watching TV shows and TV dramas because I would take on the main character's personality into my life.
Literally me.
And that's an issue when the shows I was watching was like Vikings. You know, like, yeah, if you want to be Chuck Bass in Gossip Girl, that's okay. But when you're Ragnar Lothbrok, whose whole job is to pillage communities, that is an issue.
Potentially frowned upon.
Yeah, no, so I've had to give that up. But it is a strange feeling when you finish a TV show. It is, you are right. It is similar to when you finish a footy season. You're like, where does my life turn to next.
Because it's such a big part of your identity, and then that's kind of taken away, and you're like, well, what do I have left?
But it's important because if you feast every day, you never feast at all. If footy was 24/7 all year round, 365 days a year, then you probably wouldn't appreciate it as much as you do when you take 6 months off and it comes back and you're like, you bloody ripper, it's back.
Oh, that's true. That's actually a good take, because I feel like when I was younger and I used to watch TV shows on TV, when you had to wait every week for an episode, it was so exciting because like the anticipation, because you knew you weren't getting it all the time. Whereas now with streaming, it's like everything just exists on there and you can just like watch 5 seasons in 2 days, depending on how little you sleep. And of course, what I'm going through right now applies to not just TV shows, but the end of a footy season, after you finish the finals in footy for all of our players and spectators. Where do I go from here? Or where does everyone go from here after finals?
Well, first you need to appreciate what you just had. So I think that it's important to have a little period of reflection, enjoy it, soak it in, understand what you just went through, the journey, the roller coaster. But then after that, the most exciting thing is that you don't know what's next. You know, you can find out anything you want about yourself. Try something new. Pick up a new book. Not that I've ever read a book. Actually, I've read one.
Read one book.
I've read one book, Undo the Happiest Refugee, and it was unreal. Never read another book since. But try something new. Try something new, Star. What's something new on your agenda that you could give a crack?
Footy.
Yeah, well, get it. Footy season is coming to an end, so that is a bit of an issue. But yeah, try something new. And the best part about footy in particular is footy season ends and then it's summer. You know, so you can go to the beach, you can go outside again and enjoy your 30-degree days and go out with your mates and just have fun in the sun. So that is the one saving. If it wasn't for footy during the winter, it would be a serious battle to stay in Melbourne. Like the only thing that gets you excited about winter in Melbourne is the footy. It's what gets you through. It's actually a sensational system.
So the weather here today, we're probably sitting at around 19 degrees. It's quite sunny. Is that not common for a Melb's winter?
I know that we are sitting at sort of a news type of desk here, but you don't need to go full Jane Barner. I thought you were about to start pointing and do the draft is coming in from a northeasterly sort of. No, this is actually a lovely day.
Yeah.
This is a lovely day, winter's day in Melbourne. But no, as long as you find something you love to keep you occupied over the off-season and whenever your show finishes.
The off-season of my TV show.
The off-season of the summer I turned hot, so you'll be right.
Summer I turned hot, go walk. Rog, what is your recce?
My recommendation is The Forgotten Egg.
The Forgotten Egg?
It's The Forgotten Egg. That isn't a TV show. It is not a novel. It is not something that you may have seen on the news.
It sounds like it's from Vikings, The Forgotten Egg.
The Forgotten Egg is not from Vikings. When you go to a cafe or when you're cooking at home, how do you like your eggs?
Oh, I'm usually a scrambled girly.
A lot of people are a scrambled, and that's a reasonable decision, don't get me wrong. People love the scrambled. They love the poached. They love the fried. How often do people enjoy the boiled?
Probably not as often as they should.
Not as often. It's not even an option when you go to a cafe.
True.
You never go to a cafe and they go, oh, I'll have my eggs boiled. Why not? Why not, Star?
We're taking a stand here on the slice.
What is wrong with a soft boiled egg?
Oh, wow.
I soft boil my eggs and gee, am I in heaven. You put your eggs in the saucepan, bit of water, you boil them for about 4 minutes, take them out, crack it. I've perfected the technique of taking them out the shell. It was an issue when I first started. It was an absolute shambles. But now that I've perfected the technique and you get a perfectly soft boiled egg, why is this the most underappreciated variety of egg?
Do you think it's because there's a lot of admin involved in boiling eggs?
Yeah, but if it was easy, everyone would do it.
That's true.
You got to work hard for what's best in life, and you got to put in the extra hard yards for your boiled egg.
You were just full of motivational quotes
exactly
today.
Right.
I love it.
You have a little bit of toast, avo, boiled egg, spinach, tomato, salt, pepper, olive oil, and the best part about the boiled egg is it's full of protein, which gets you up and about for finals. So if you've got a final coming up this week, which a lot of you will, you want a nice light brekkie, but one that fills you full of energy, fills you full of protein. Soft boil your eggs, do 4 or 5, chuck them in.
4 or 5 eggs?
4 or 5 eggs with some avo, spinach, tomato.
That's a lot of eggs.
And you'll go a long way to winning your big dance. It's about time the soft boiled egg gets more recognition.
Okay, I have an issue with this, and it's funny that you bring this up because
you've got
this week,
issue with soft boiled eggs.
No, I love soft boiled eggs. I like soft boiled eggs if the white part isn't runny. Just eggs in general, white part runny. Cancelled. Absolutely not. So this week I thought I actually feel like boiled eggs, but I saw a TikTok that said you can cook them in the air fryer.
No, you can't.
Well,
No, you can't.
you said you don't know until you try. So I got my air fryer out and I only had 3 eggs left.
Start this episode. We only got about 35 minutes, 40 minutes of recording.
It's a good story.
We're not talking about this ludicrous idea that you can air fry eggs, mate.
No, you actually can. It is possible. However, I tried to give it a go and I read the recipe wrong. I thought you just said put it in for 13 minutes or whatever. What I didn't realize is that you had to check the temperature of the air fryer. It had to be on 120 degrees, but I had mine on 200 degrees for 14 minutes.
What do you mean you didn't realize you had to check the temperature of the air fryer?
I've never changed the temperature.
I'll just throw it in the oven.
No.
Doesn't matter what recipe I'm cooking. I'll just throw it in. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'll come back in 4 hours. It'll be cherry ripe. No worries.
It's a Kmart air fryer, okay?
Right.
I thought it was just one setting, whatever. So I come back after 14 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I was going to put my little eggies in the little ice bath because you're meant to put it in an ice bath after to stop it cooking. So I did that.
That really is like a grand final now. You want to have your ice bath after the big game.
Rest in recovery. And then I go to crack my eggs and I picked it up out of the ice bath and I looked at it and I thought, this looks a bit funny. I don't know if this is a soft-boiled egg. So I crack it on the counter, I roll it, and I start peeling it.
Good technique.
The white part of the egg was like the same color pretty much as our Slice logo. It was like giving greeny, yellowy kind of vibes.
You are kidding.
So it had been in there for 14 minutes on 200 degrees, which is probably the equivalent of like 30 minutes.
I just don't know what's wrong with the classic tried and true technique of bit of boiled water, 4 minutes, happy days are here to stay.
I've never been good at boiling eggs. And can I actually show you a photo right now of what the egg looked like?
Yeah, I would love you to.
Can
I'd
I
love
do that?
nothing more.
Yeah. What do you think it's going to look like?
I'm gonna guess a burnt egg. If it looks like an elephant, I'm gonna be very surprised. Oh my! That looks like a creme brulee. Am I?
But like, look at it. See how it's like green?
Yeah, it looks like the moon nearly. Like it's got craters on it. It looks like something outerworldly. That is.
Yeah. So, look, I'm lucky that the egg didn't explode in the air fryer, but maybe you can send me a little instruction list on how to do a soft-boiled egg because I just seem to always fail. And there was also my last 3 eggs, so then I just had to have toast.
Well, the lesson we've learned is soft-boil your eggs, don't air fryer 'em.
Rog, I know we're talking about finals a lot this episode, but the games are still happening, and I reckon we should play a little game.
I would love nothing more.
I would like to take the credit for this name, but
Okay.
Let's just pretend that I made it up. It's called 2 Truths and a Sly.
What is a sly?
A sly is like, you've been a bit sly. You've been a sly little
Oh,
snake.
right. Little sly guy. You've been a bit mischievous, a little bit
Yes.
dubious in your morals.
So what producer Nell has done is written down 3 team names. 2 truths and a sly. In case you haven't already guessed it, 2 of them are real local footy teams and
Yep.
one of them is a sly.
Okay, it's a great dating profile question, the 2 truths and a lie. I'm keen to bring it into the 2 truth and a sly world. Give it to it. Give it to me.
Okay,
Let's see.
here we go. We've got the UTS Bats.
The UTS Bats. Sounds like a disease.
So UTS is a uni in Sydney.
Oh, right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
The Uts.
Do we...
The Uts Bats.
The arts.
We love the Uts.
Okay, do we reckon... Is that a real team? UTS
The
Bats?
UTS Bats.
Up the UTS Bats.
Off the bat, no pun intended. I'm gonna say fake. I'm guessing that's my fake one because who would call themselves the Bats?
Yeah.
Like Batman got away with it, but he's one out the box. Bats is like just not something you'd want to be. Like, why would you want to? They're a disgusting little creature.
Maybe.
No disrespect to any of the bats
yeah,
watching.
No hate to any bats.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because when they kick the ball, it's like a bat flying through the goals. You don't know. You don't ship
No,
that.
I'm not paying
Well,
that.
you can't call your lie yet because you don't know what the other ones are.
The Uts Bats, if that's real, I'm sorry for
The
you.
Uts.
What's next?
All right, next one. The Southern Dingoes.
Southern Dingoes, that one actually sounds a little bit scary. Like the Southern Dingoes. Like I wouldn't want to
Yeah.
come across the Southern Dingoes.
It's got some oomph to it,
Sounds
definitely.
quick, sounds lightning. Like they would 100. Like you'd be the team that has all the old blokes who can't run anymore. The Southern Dingoes are lightning quick. I reckon that's real.
Okay, and then we've got the Wagga Wagga Cowboys.
That's real.
What a name.
That's real.
Do you already know that that's real?
No, but if Wagga Wagga, they
No,
would be
but-
called the Cowboys. Like town's so nice, they named it twice, and the Cowboys are leading the charge.
So you reckon UTS Bats is the sly?
UTS Bats is the sly.
I'm going to say the Wagga Wagga Cowboys is the sly, just to spice it up a little bit. Spice it up a little bit.
Wagga Wagga Cowboys.
Welcome to the spice.
Yeah. I reckon UTS Bats, and you reckon?
I reckon Wagga Wagga Cowboys.
Actually, to be honest.
No, you can't change it.
All right. Okay. I'm sticking with Bats. What's the answer?
Should we up the stakes?
Yes. Loser has to give the winner all of their Instagram followers.
Okay.
Deal.
Done.
No, what do you actually want to bet on it?
I want. What do I want?
A chalky milk?
Oh yeah, chalky milk.
Chalky milk on it.
Shake on it. We're just getting some important word from our producers.
Oh,
I was right. Yes.
To be honest, late on, I wanted to change my decision because I'm like, I've never heard an AFL team called the Cowboys, but then again, I've never heard a team called the Bats. But well
you were
done.
pretty confident. You were like, town so nice, they named it twice. Cowboys, done.
Yeah, UTS Bats. Why are they called? Is it a big bat region out there?
In the middle of Sydney City, not sure.
Well, apologies to the UTS Bats for my disrespect, but Wagga Wagga Cowboys, well done.
Well, the name's up for grabs if anyone wants to name their team that. You know why I went that? Because it's C. So ABC, when in doubt, go for C. Multiple choice.
You should go on hot seat. You'd go well.
Oh, yes. It's time for my favourite part of the podcast. Now, this little segment is called Handy Point. It is where we give you sometimes good advice. I think we're pretty all right at advice, right?
I think I'm getting better. I think I am getting better. The key lesson is do as I say, not as I've done.
So thank you so much to the people who sent in some questions and queries this week. It's always so hard for us to choose which one we're going to do. But this is a little bit different to anything that we've ever done.
Really?
So this is actually from a coach.
A coach? I'm excited. I haven't heard this.
Yeah. So we've done a lot of questions about kind of like friendships, relationships, school identity. So we've never had one from a coach.
Okay.
I feel like you're going to be really good at this.
I would love to be a coach. Like I can't, the main reason why I can't wait to have kids, and I can wait to have kids, but when I do have kids, I'm excited to be the best dad coach you've ever seen.
Oh, I feel like you would have had some special coaches in your
I've
time.
had some unbelievable coaches.
All right, should we get into it?
Yeah, let's go.
Hey, Rog and Star, big fan of the show and definitely would consider myself a footy nuffy. Same.
That makes three of us.
I need some advice on how I can surprise one of my former players that I used to coach. Any help would be greatly appreciated.
Well, I always loved when I was a player when the coach would surprise us with something other than a training session.
Ooh.
Like you'd think you're going to rock up to training and like the footies aren't out on the ground and you're like, what's happening here? And the coach would go, come inside to the club rooms and we'd have like a little movie night, like a little chemistry night.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, I think building team chemistry is really important off the field as well. So if you're a coach and you want to surprise one of your players or all of the players, do something a bit left field, get them off the training track. Yeah. I reckon this would be your domain. What's something a little bit left field that isn't kicking the footy around that'd be a good way to bring the team together or maybe get a player up and about?
I don't know. I feel like you've got to like think outside, not just the footy field. Where would you not expect to see this person? So maybe doing like a team bonding activity, like the zoo, or maybe like, I don't know, at the podcast studio.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, just surprising someone in the studio.
Oh, Bonnie! You are kidding.
Hello. How you going?
This is fantastic for you, mate. This is... Oh, mate.
Come and have a seat.
This is... I had no idea where this was all going.
I was so nervous doing that. I was like trying to look at the producer to be like, is now the time? Is now the time?
Oh, Borgie. So Borg is probably my longest coach, and we had a really good relationship, didn't we, Borgie?
Yes. We still do. I'd like to think we still do.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was the first year that I'm not actually playing at the footy club. How are you going without me in the side? Are you holding up pretty well?
Yeah, well, we finished our home and away season on the weekend, so we finished third on ladder. So we go into finals coming this coming Saturday. So safe to say we're going okay.
Yeah, sensational.
It's not the same without you, but
Well, it's such a special relationship between the player and the coach because, this show, The Site's all about local community footy. And there's so much that you learn from a coach, and it's more than just on field. It's more than just learning where to kick the ball, learning where to run. There's a personal relationship that's built that teaches you how to be a better man as well. And I feel like that was your greatest strength as a coach,
Thank you.
Borgie.
Thank you.
You know, the messages you gave, you always taught people how to bring the best out of themselves. It's something that all the players are very grateful for. So thank you for that.
No,
And
appreciate it. Thank you.
and thank you so much for joining us on the slide.
Were you surprised?
I am absolutely shocked. I really can't believe it. And the way we were going through the second, I'm wondering where this is going. And I'm so stoked to have you on here, Borgie.
My heart rate was really high. Now, Coach, we've been talking about finals a lot on this episode and what to do kind of when the footy season is over, when the grand finals wrapped up.
Yep.
How do you kind of fill that void in your life when something you love so much has kind of come to a pause?
After such a long season, it's sort of like a bit refreshing to have some time off.
Yeah.
But then it doesn't take long because we usually don't start pre-season till November. So it's really not a big gap in between. But just enjoying the time off. Still trying to catch up with some boys. Like we've caught up for coffees and that sort of stuff afterwards. So, as kind of said, I'd like to think that we build a relationship other than just play a coach. It becomes a friendship and it becomes just another connection, I suppose. So,
Love
so
that. And did Rog ever do anything that got him like a couple of laps around the field?
No, he was the ultimate trainer.
That's the only reason I got a game start.
Someone asked me to explain to describe how he plays, and I'll say I think it's like Lionel Richie, but in a James Manson mould.
I do not know what that means.
Well, if you look up James Manson, he was an ex-Collingwood player who had a very awkward kicking style. Yeah. So this is where I'm going with it. And the Lionel Richie reference in terms of to the
mustache.
Okay.
But he was always the first on the track. He trained like he played with a lot of effort.
Love that.
It's what we love about community footy, and it's something that we've pumped up a bit, is that you don't have to be the best player. I never was, as you know too well, Borgie, but it's about what you can do outside of the track, getting the players up and about, being the one that sparks people up in the change rooms, and that can have, maybe not just as much impact as the stars that get 40 disposals and 10 clearances on game day, but it can have a pretty significant impact.
Yeah, correct.
I want to talk about that energy in the change room as well, because I've been at like footy games before, and then you walk past the change room and it's just like roaring sound coming from there. What are like 3 words that come to mind when you describe the energy that's in that room after you've just had a massive win?
It's hard to describe really, because there's a whole range of emotions. Like it's excitement, it's relief, especially if it's a big game. And we had a really big game last year, which unfortunately I think you missed out on.
No, I was there. So I got dropped for the first final.
No. Talk about the Eltham game.
Oh, the Eltham game. Oh, yeah, that was unbelievable.
Yeah, so I think you missed that one. So if I can just go back a little bit, Connor, actually, we played a side that hadn't lost a game in about 2.5 years.
Wow.
And the first time we played, we were really short on numbers and injuries. And Connor was actually his probably first and only time in senior footy that he was actually captain of the side.
Yeah.
Look out.
So it all started. It was all good. He's. I told him. I think it was the morning of.
It was
the morning of. I told you you're going to be the captain, and he was all up and about. And I'll get the boys going. And anyway, he got us going because we ended up getting beat by about 150 points. And it's not his fault. It was just we were just decimated with injuries. And as I said, it's a side that hadn't lost a game in 2.5 years.
They were unstoppable, Eltham. It really was a mental battle to think of how you could possibly beat this team.
Yeah, and we got lost a few injuries early, which didn't help. But I think just the way he led, even though, and it goes to show that the character of the group that we've got, that as far as down as what we were personnel-wise, they had a crack and they digged. And I think kind of led from the front, mate, because he wears his heart on his sleeves and gives you everything he's got. And I'm not saying that, but that's all sincerity. So.
No, he's a good egg, a good soft-boiled egg.
But then the next time we played Eltham, I was doing the timekeeping. I didn't play that week. And we came out and we did the fairy tale. We beat them with half a side in.
Correct.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, so we ended up beating the first side to beat them in 3 or 3 years. So in games like that, it's excitement. It's a bit of disbelief. It's euphoria, I suppose, for a better word, if you beat a really good side. But I think it's just. I think the environment in the group, whether we beat a really good side or we beat a weaker side, I think it stays the same. Yeah. Do you agree? It's just the closeness of the group and the club itself. So I think it's just everyone got each other's back, and so.
And Coach, do you ever give a good pep talk?
I'd like to think I give every pep talk a good pep talk.
Boy, you
That's
gave,
not me to explain on, to elaborate on. So.
boy, you gave a ripper pep talk. He was one of the best in the business. So, mate, thank you so much for coming
Thank
on
you.
and surprising us for
Anytime,
you.
mate. Anytime.
That shocked me like you wouldn't believe. But what a full circle moment. It's been great to have you on the
I'm
slice.
glad to have the desired effect, mate. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Aw. I can't wait to see the slow-mo of your face. But
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe surprise you in a podcast. You're like, what? We got you.
That was just the most rogue thing ever. Like, I loved it, but I was just like, hang on, what's actually happening here? Why was me coach in the studio? That was so funny. You got me hook, line, and sinker. Never in a million years did I see that.
That was
coming.
really hard to keep that surprise as well. And I was like really trying to have a good poker face. How did I do? Were you like, what is happening?
I didn't. The only reason why I thought something was up was because I was going, that is a pretty weird question to put forward. Well, how would you surprise a player as a former coach? And I'm like, surely we can have better questions to give advice to that.
We
but,
get so many, and I'm like, why were you thinking? Why did Nell choose this one out of all of them?
and I'm there going, oh, have a movie night with the boys. And then Paulie walks in, and I'm like, what? Am I in a dream? This is, when you're in a dream and really random things happen. And you wake up going, oh, that was funny.
No, that
I'm
was
still
good.
waiting to wake up. That was bizarre.
I'll pinch you. That was a good episode, though. So much fun.
So much fun, full of surprises. Another little serving of the slice for AFL play.
We will be back same time next week, and make sure you follow us on socials at AFLPLAY. Get amongst it, TikTok, Instagram, all of the above. And make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the bell so you get notified. You don't want to miss anything. You don't want to miss anything of the slice.
We'll see you next week for another serving of the slice for AFL play.
Signing off, I'm Rog.
And I'm Star.
The Slice, presented by AFL Play, is hosted by Star MCG and Connor Rogers.
We pay our respects to the traditional owners of the land and waters in which we record on.